Dr. NGR Educational and Research Institute, University, Madurai, Chennai.
It's a great day, I'm feeling good. Oh, the possibilities of what I could. Oh, do with the world at my fingertips. My imagination brings a smile up to my lips. Oh, fascinated, I'm moving fast. Oh, I'm optimistic as the days go past. Oh, opportunity is here for me. So come along and take a look because I want you to see. Yeah, the world is yours, look a little bit closer. If you want it, come and get it. You can take it over. You can make your tomorrows what you want them to be. You got the power in your hands to shape your history. We're going up, 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 and up, up, up. We're going up, 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 and up, up, up. We're going up.
Good evening, everyone. A very warm welcome to one and all present here for this international webinar. Thank you for joining us for today's webinar. I'm Ms. Nadine Kuti, Teaching Assistant at Dr. MGR Education and Research Institute. Dr. MGR Education and Research Institute is one of the leading institutions in Tamil Nadu. Today's webinar is on the topic fashion branding. And today's topic is presented by Ms. Vandana, founder, CEO, Evanna Fashion House, Singapore. Now, I welcome upon Mrs. Ahmada Begum, Head of the Fashion Design Department, to announce the welcome address.
Thank you, Ms. Nandini Kuti. Good evening to one and all present here. I feel honored to welcome the gathering for this international webinar on the topic fashion branding. On this account of this event, I take great pride to welcome our founder Chancellor A.C. Shanmugam and our beloved President Engineer A.C.S. Arun Kumar for the encouragement and motivation in organizing this webinar. I heartily welcome our Vice President Dr. M.K. Padmanabhan and our Vice Chancellor Dr. S. Geeta Lakshmi for their support. I would also like to welcome our eminent Pro Vice Chancellor Dr. Ravichandran, our Provost Dr. G. Gopalakrishnan and our Registrar Dr. C.B. Palanivedu. I would also like to render a warm welcome to our Joint Registrar HNS Dr. Malini Pandey. I am delighted to welcome our Joint Registrar Dr. S. Ramalingam, our Dean S. Manivannan and our Deputy Dean Dr. V.N. Rajavarman for their motivation and support for conducting this international webinar. I would also like to welcome Mr. Nadeem, Director Institute of Design and all the heads and staff members of our institution. My heartiest welcome to the resource person for today's webinar, Ms. Vandana, Founder, CEO of Evanna Fashion House, Singapore. We welcome you, ma'am. On behalf of the Department of Fashion Design, Adiyalampattu Phase 2 campus, I would like to welcome my beloved participants from various parts of the world who have joined today for this webinar. I hope everyone will have a great knowledge about fashion branding at the end of the session. Dear participants, an announcement regarding the feedback link which will be provided at the end of this session. You can post your queries in the chat box and it will be clarified during the questionnaire session. I welcome you all once again for this webinar and hope that you will have a great time ahead. Thank you one and all.
It was indeed a very pleasing addressing given by you, ma'am. Now, I welcome upon Mr. Nadeem, Director of IOD, Chennai, to introduce about our chief guest.
Good evening, one and all. Okay, I'm very honored to introduce a good friend of mine, Ms. Vandana Evanna, the founder and the fashion designer of Evanna Fashion House. She is based out of Singapore and she's been recognized as the wonderful lady in the fashion field. And right now, she's expertise in fashion merchandising, designing. And I'm happy to inform you that she is the Asian Lady of Excellence Award winner and Asia Pacific Golden Brand Award winner for a responsible in getting the Indian fashion and international fashion and bohemian fashion jewelry, and plus she is into a lot of eco fashion brands. She has been launched a company in 2011. She has participated in various trade shows and fashion shows all over the world, and she has been a part of Miami Fashion Week, Mercedes Fashion Week in Australia, and World Fashion Week in Malaysia, and Asian Lifestyle and Fashion Week in Singapore, and plus our Indian Jaipur couture show. She's been interviewed by various news TV channels, newspapers, articles, and magazines, and she's been a motivation for a lot of fashion designers in India and abroad. And basically, she's based out of Singapore, and she is well versed in the Asian fashion also. And right now, had been authored a book called Mode La Fashion and Style Icon. This book is launched in 3 locations: one in Delhi, next in Jaipur, and then in Singapore. So, welcome you all to this show of international fashion, and I hope you will be able to understand and appreciate the branding and the expertise and experience of Ms. Vandana. Welcome you, ma'am.
Thank you so much, sir, for such a wonderful introduction given by you. Now we welcome you, ma'am, on the show.
Thank you so much for inviting me for this show, Mr. Nadeem and MGR Institute. I'm humbled to be here. And I'm very thankful that I got this opportunity to share my knowledge to all the students of your institute. And as Mr. Nadeem has mentioned that I have written a book on fashion, this is the book that I would like to show. This is very beneficial for all the designers who want to start their own business, anybody who wants to start their own business, because in that all the designers, how they have established themselves from beginning to end, it's all mentioned in this book. And you can introduce this book in your institute as well. It will be very beneficial for them. So now I will start that today we are talking about branding. So I would like to start and share my experience in the fashion business and most important steps to grow your fashion brand profitably. Launching the first collection of a fashion brand is just the initial step. It takes a lot more to sustainably grow it over time, requiring discipline and commitment. Every fashion entrepreneur needs to follow a few business aspects to make a brand successful. So you have started off your fashion brand. You may have your own store, maybe stock your collection at a number of boutiques or sell online. You have worked hard the last 6 months designing and then coordinating every aspect. Your first collection has been a reasonable success, though you had to negotiate hard with suppliers and boutiques as you are a new name in the crowded space of designers. So, how do you make sure you grow profitably? Here are some guidelines that you need to keep in mind if you wish to succeed in business. Remember, there are hundreds, if not thousands, of fashion brands ready to take your place if you fail. Competition is intense and customer loyalty is notoriously fickle. So I would recommend this plan and execute these steps for a successful fashion business. Main points are: keep a close eye on trends. Design for your core audience. Cost control. Marketing. Presentation and selling. Keeping tabs on sales, inventory, channels, and cash flow, and maintaining relationships. So, what is keep a close eye on trends? Trends change frequently, and what is in vogue today may not be when you launch your collection. As designers, we plan collections months in advance. So be sure you have good idea of the trends shaping current fashion and whether they are likely to stay. Design for your core audience. Your first collection may have been designed to express your creativity for a particular audience. But remember that customers decide what you sell. So keep a core audience in mind when you design a collection. Persona mapping is a technique used in marketing research that is extremely useful in figuring out your audience is and what they might be looking for. Second is cost control. It is easy to let your creativity run wild, but a customer has to be willing to pay for the designs you have made. So, keeping a tight control on costs, material, manufacturing, even marketing is essential to ensure that you make a profit. Remember, you may be discounting a part of your collection towards the end of the session. So, factor that into your calculations. Third is marketing. Your collection will sell when you market it well to the right audience. Invest wisely in your marketing efforts, using a good mix of in store, social media, and word of mouth through existing customers to ensure a good response while keeping marketing costs in control. Presentation and selling. Visual merchandising, offline or online, determines whether a customer will be attracted to try out your designs. If you stock your brand alongside others in e-retail or boutiques, make sure effort to make every effort to make your collection attractive enough for the customer to take a closer look and feel. Next is keeping tabs on sales, inventory, channels, and cash flow. If you stock your merchandise at multiple outlets on consignment, keep track of sold and unsold inventory and the receivables due. For online, tracking sales is much simpler, and updating inventory is critical to ensuring you don't get orders that you cannot fulfill. Also, the issue of returns has to be handled diligently. Maintaining relationships. Keep good relations with your best suppliers and ensure they are happy to engage in business with you, as their quality and timely delivery will ensure your brand's consistency. Customers are the lifeblood that seem your brand alive, and therefore ensure you keep in touch with them and get feedback whenever possible. They're also the ones who ensure you keep getting new customers, so it might be a good idea to reward them for their loyalty, if possible.